Morning. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's me. It's Chad Eckert. I'm back for another episode of this Friday morning show I'm doing. It's a reality realty show. And today's topic actually is the topic of the week, multiple offers. It's happening everywhere. If you're in the market, you know it. You're experiencing it as a seller, having to sift through a dozen offers, and you're experiencing it as a buyer, trying to win. Throwing money, mystery offers, and just hoping, crossing your fingers. Well, let's talk today about how to win and how to handle things as a seller. Now, what to expect from a seller's perspective, that's important, but being a buyer in this market, that is tough. A buyer in a seller's market, not exactly a fun experience, but you know what? Unless you got the right agent, you could actually maybe win one of these things by doing some things differently, getting yourself ahead of the game. I'm Chad Eckert. I can help you. I work out of the 50th and France office for Edina Realty, and I can show you what it takes. I can give you the blueprint to winning, success, taking down one of these houses, getting a chance to actually buy it. Well, let's be honest with each other. If you're kind of looking or you're thinking about looking, well, that's fine and all. It's good to get out there and establish a foundation of what's on the market, but you've got to be in it to win it, or you're kind of just in the way, in a way. I've been showing houses all spring, and most of these listings have gone in multiple offers. The listings are actually out there on the market for less than they should be. And in fact, these agents are putting homes on the market as a suggested retail price. It's happening in all ranges and all cities. There's a reason for that. The inventory is so low, so they're just putting. They don't know that their house is worth more than it really is because they think that's crazy. My house isn't worth $500. It's only worth $450. So they put it out at $450 and it gets $515 or $525, and they're shocked. Everyone's crazy. That's the reason why there's just no inventory. There's another reason. Pandemic fatigue. Get me out of here. I need out. I need a new house. So people are trying to move, get out. Sellers are also listing their homes for a price that they know they can easily achieve in order to do it in one weekend. Do a dozen showings, 1 day, 2 days. You get multiple offers, and you can make a decision, and you're done. Boom. Clean the house again, and you're good. 1 weekend. So they put it on for low. They give, $375, even though they know their house is probably going to go for $405, $410. They put it at $375. The worst thing that they can do is go on at $410 and then not achieve it. And then it lasts 2 weeks on the market and people think that there's something wrong with this house. So it's just adding to the fact that there's just the pricing, the list price is not what it's going to sell for. So you got to know that, you work with the realtor. They'll suggest ways to do things to win, to know that this house is underpriced. We'll know that. So offering $85,000 over might not even be unreasonable. Could actually be what the house is worth. So 85 over doesn't really mean 85 over. It just means over whatever this dumb agent listed the price or listed the house at. So yeah. Okay. You like a house. You better go see it as soon as possible, get in it and write an offer. If you are thinking about writing it at suggested retail price, at the list price, well, that's just a waste of time. If it's the first weekend, you go as high as 3% over or more. You could sometimes, in fact, what's happening is you got to write or you'll waive your inspection. You don't even want to have this house inspected. You're going to buy a $400,000 house without having an inspection. Or sometimes you're going to guarantee that this seller will get a price. They will achieve a price regardless of appraisal value. You're in Eden Prairie, you're writing for $325. The house is on at $300. You'll guarantee that this house, you'll sell it to them. You'll buy it from them for $325. Write it in. Hope, you cross your fingers. You talk to the appraiser before he gets there. You make sure he knows that there's multiples and this is the way the market's moving. And hopefully it doesn't appraise for too far under and you have to bring extra cash to closing, but that's another whole different ballgame. But this is what's happening in this multiple market. So you do have to write a love letter sometimes. You got to have sometimes just let this seller know, I'm really into it. I love it. I'm going to be taking good care of your product forever. Sometimes you need to have that lender that you're using call the listing agent and say, hey, listen, my guy, he's solid. His job's great. His finances are great. Work with us. We can get it done. We will get it closed, because that's sometimes the fear of the seller is that this person they're going to choose out of the 20 offers they get is not going to end up having the right job or have the ability to close, or they're faking it with their money. You want to have good finances. And then after all of that, you wrote over ask, guaranteed above appraisal, you waived your inspection, you had your lender call, you wrote a love letter, and then all of a sudden you don't even hear back. And you're a buyer that just gets an email sent to you, a mass email, like you didn't get it. And then your agents, that's all we get. I mean, it's crazy. Like we beg, and we throw all of it out there. We blood, sweat, and tears into this thing. And then all of a sudden we just get an email that says, no, we chose someone else. So that's kind of what to expect. Fun, right? Oh, it's so fun. But how do you stand out as a buyer? Well, you could have your agent, again, work with the right agent, work with a good agent. And this agent's going to know that they've got to call the listing agent. You got to ask if the seller's got a preferred closing date. You got to figure out all of this stuff. Make sure your lender letter is good. Write the offer clean and perfect right away. Like, don't make them have to counter you on anything or have to resend anything. Just make sure that it's a perfect offer. Typically, you want to put more earnest money down. Normally, it's about 1%. Maybe you double that. Maybe you put as much as you possibly can, and you make that earnest money non-refundable after an inspection period. Like I said, you could waive your inspection. You could make it non-contingent. So you just have an inspection, but it's not contingent on the home. So you do want to find out what you need to fix with the home, but it's not necessarily going to kill the deal, depending on what you find. You got to give a flexible closing date. Sometimes that helps. The seller wants to move out for 3 days after you close, or maybe you rent the house back to them. That's something that we've been thinking about doing. Seller is allowed to sell the house to you. You close on, let's say, March 15th, 19th, and then you let them live in the house for the next 3 months and you rent it back to them. Let's see what else you could do. I mean, you could do all sorts of things. Gosh, the best idea, the one I just heard of, is that you offer to pay the seller the closing costs for them. So you offer another 3% on top of your extra crazy offer that you'll pay the seller's closing costs. It's maybe a good idea. So yeah, okay. It's insane, I know. But from a seller's perspective, it's fun. I mean, wouldn't it be fun to get 100 offers? Well, maybe not. Not necessarily, not always is it fun to have a parade of people through your house and make sure, try to decipher which offer is the best. And then you have regrets and you have fears that this lender is a liar and all this stuff. So maybe you don't want this life. You, as a seller, should expect multiple offers. That is for sure. As a seller, you can decide with your agent if you're going to do a best and final. You've seen this like 6 o'clock on Sunday, highest and best or due, and then you just let the people flood the offers in, and you kind of then decide either Sunday night or Monday morning or whatever. You get back to everybody. Do you want to have an escalation clause? You can write this in as a buyer, or you can say to the agents writing offers, I don't want escalation clauses. Just give me the best. The escalation clause thing is that they write the $500 above the next best offer. Show me pages X and Y. I don't know if that's the best way to do things from a buyer's perspective and a seller's perspective. It's a different way to write an offer. Maybe you don't want to see that. Maybe you decide you don't want to see love letters. You don't care to hear who loves it the most. Buyers waiving their inspection. Maybe as a seller, you're like, I don't want that. I want you to get an inspection. I'm not afraid of what you'll find in my home. And actually, this feels weird that you wouldn't get that. And then I'm liable for whatever I don't let you discover. I don't want to do that. Maybe you decide, hey, this offer that I just got before the home's even been shown by anybody, it's not even like it's coming soon or whatever, or it's pre-listed or it's coming on tomorrow, but it's on MLS. Someone writes you an aggressive offer immediately, says, here it is, I want it, sight unseen, blah, blah, blah. Crazy. And you're like, oh my gosh, I don't even have to have a showing. I don't have to have anything. I could just take this crazy offer right now and just be done. It's like on Shark Tank when Mark Cuban, gets some guy, he likes their product. He says to them, here's my crazy offer. I'm not letting you talk to any of the other sharks. If you want to work with me and you want my crazy offer, you better take it now or be worried if you don't accept this right now. I'm going to rip it away from you. So, that's sometimes it's a different way to do things. So you could be, as a buyer, that crazy aggressive person that writes an offer before it's even on the market, sight unseen. Or you're the seller that says, I don't know if I want that. These are things that are happening. You can negotiate mostly anything as a seller. You can negotiate inspection time. So like this person wants to inspect in a week from now. F that. Do this now. Let's get this done. Find an inspector that can do it tomorrow so I can get this thing either figured out whether it's going to get canceled or I can put it back on. Let's get this inspection done as soon as possible, or don't even let them have an inspection. In the event of a low appraisal, what happens? What options does the seller have? That's a big fear. I accepted this crazy offer, like we said, and then now it doesn't appraise. The bank doesn't think it's worth that. They don't deem the value of it, what this person's willing to pay for it. We better have something written ahead of time for the appraisal that solves this problem. So you got to kind of think ahead. If you get this crazy offer, what's going to happen if the bank doesn't think it's worth it? And also, sometimes that's what an agent like me, I will call the listing agent for my buyer and I'll say, hey, listen, what does this seller want? What is the motivations of this seller? Sometimes it's not price. Sometimes it's terms, closing date. Sometimes they just want a clean deal. Sometimes they want to work with a specific lender. Sometimes they trust me because they know me. They've worked with me or my mom before. So you got to have that. Working with the seller by buying and closing on the house and then renting it back to them could be a way to give this seller confidence. Hey, I've already closed. I'm not going to lose my job. You're going to be able to find a house over the next 3 months. And then I'll let you rent your house back to you. You don't have to move yet. I own it. You pay me rent on it. Decide on some negotiation on that. But that's some way to get everybody on the same page, give them an advantage taking your offer. And I also have a dozen other ways that I can make you stand out as a buyer, and I can put you as a seller in a great position. So you should call me. Let me show you what I can do in this multiple offer market, and we can get a deal done, or I can get your home sold at an incredible record price. This is great. Any other questions? You got to email me at Edina Realty, or you can DM me on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook. I'm in Instagram. I'm everywhere. And I'll be back next Friday, same time, same place here on Facebook and YouTube, talking real estate. The next topic I have not decided. So if you have a suggestion for a topic, I'd be happy to hear about it. Leave it in the comments below. And my thought is maybe I'm going to talk about inspections. What do you do on an inspection? What to expect there? Or I could talk about how to act in an open house, like what should you do as a buyer when you go to some of those random open houses? Or, hey, do you really need professional photography as a seller? Is that something that's super important? Or can you just snap your iPhone photos and throw it up there since everything's selling? Why do I need professional photos? Those are some topics I'm considering using over the next couple of weeks. So like and subscribe, hit the notification button on YouTube, and you'll get a notification right on your computer when I'm going live. It's great. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate you guys. See you next Friday. If you have a house that you want to look at over the weekend, give me a call. Let me know. I'll be happy to show you. Meet you there. All right. See ya. Thanks. Bye. All right. Bye, boys and girls. See you next week.